Hello, my name is Ashley Winslow. I teach at Parkway South High School. I teach family and consumer science. Currently this semester I'm teaching Clothing 1, Human Relations, and Textile Design. It has been a great semester for me. I have transitioned the classes that I'm teaching and really making it student-centered, bringing a lot of technology into the classroom. Luckily, I have a full set of Chromebooks in my classroom, and our school is on its way to being an official Google school where all of our students have Gmail accounts. They all know how to use Drive. We're really utilizing all of the technology that we can to really embrace learning and student achievement. One of my biggest philosophies in teaching is really taking that student and making them self-centered, teaching them the skills to use the technology in the proper way, and really individualizing that learning for them. I encourage students to ask questions while embracing the technology, really bringing digital literacy into the classroom, showing them what they can do with technology, and then having those high expectations and having them explore what they don't already know. The biggest part about this is that the teacher is now the facilitator instead of direct teaching. For me, I have taken this on in my Clothing 1 classroom, where I have really turned it around to where I am the one walking around the classroom, assisting them, but they're taking charge. They're in charge of their learning for the day, and every single student is differentiated. So one student might be working on their pillowcase project while another is doing bookwork, and another one is working already on their choice project. So everybody is doing something different. Everybody is taking charge and going at their own pace as well. The technology is what allows me to be able to do this, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more. But again, technology plays a significant role in the classroom, as well as the administrator and students. But technology isn't the only answer, but it is that factor that brings the biggest change in the evolution of teaching. It is critical in the education of students. So it's something that they are going to be using. It's going to become an exponential change in technology, things that we don't even know exist or are going to exist soon. It's also going to promote other skills alongside that technology, and then again bringing those skills like critical thinking, digital literacy, and collaboration into the classroom as well. So the new technological things that I've added to my toolbox, for one, Chromebooks have already been something that I've had, but it's been really interesting to see how other teachers in this class are using their Chromebooks and the creative things that they can get to do with them. Virtual reality with digital field trips was one of my biggest research projects in this class that I loved learning about. Taking just a group of kids that have never been anywhere else other than the city that they live in, and they're able to put these glasses on and it feels like they're underwater, or it feels like they're looking at the Great Wall of China. How amazing would that be if I could take my fashion students down the main strip of New York or Fashion Week or something like that. So I'm definitely going to do some more research into that and see what I can do. 3D printing, I'm not very knowledgeable on that, but definitely for the engineering classes and the classes that you're really trying to create, I'm trying to think of ways that I could use it in housing and interior design. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then student digital portfolios. I'm trying to grow my fashion program right now. So digital portfolios is something that my students are going to be starting probably next semester, fashion merchandising. I want them to really have them either create a blog or create a website or a portfolio that's really going to show, especially these students that are going into this in college, what they can do. Kahoot. I have developed one Kahoot so far. It was to review for the sewing machine, and it's pretty easy to use. Adding pictures is a lot harder because it is a process, but I've had a lot of help, a lot of teacher assistance. I went and observed another teacher doing the game, and it's amazing to see the engagement of the other students. Flipped classroom again is kind of what I'm doing right now with my clothing class. So I'm actually going to stop for a second and pull up what I'm doing in my Clothing 1. So whenever I was saying I was differentiating learning, I really am. So every single day, students come into the classroom, they go to their Google Classroom, and they're all on different steps. So if you see here, it started with step 1, which was the roll it up pillowcase. It has a lesson, it has what they need to know, it has videos. I also have a spot on my Google Drive where I have how-to videos for all of the students. So they know exactly what's expected, they know what standards are being covered, they have visual directions, they have directions that they can read, they have videos they can watch, and then of course they can come to me as well. And then they also rely on their friends. So as they finish one project, then of course they go to step 2. And then here are the directions for step 2, projects they need to complete, different videos that are going to help them. And again, they can go at their own rate. As soon as they finish this, we have step 3, which is the hemming packet, and then step 4, body measurement. So it was really interesting that I have one girl in my block 1 that she is actually so ahead that she has finished step 4, and I am not ready to make lessons for step 5 or 6. So she's actually just doing some individual projects to help me until I'm ready to get those other lessons out. It's been amazing though to be able to see her projects, and my goal for her, she'll be ready to do probably 2 or 3 choice projects by the end of the semester. And most of the time in a school year, I only get to one choice project instead. But for her, because I'm differentiating this learning, she's going to get to do a lot more than ever in any of my other classes. So, like I said, technology, especially Google Classroom, and all these how-to videos have played such an important role in my classroom. So, and then of course there's also technology for disabled students. There's also some really cool apps for disabled students as well that are very beneficial. So of course all things Google, that's one of the biggest things in my school right now. Google Classroom has been amazing. Gmail is great, it's really easy to use, easy to email other students, being able to really collaborate and have communication between teacher and student. 2 years ago, a lot of my students didn't email, and it's amazing to see just in the last 2 years how almost every single student checks their Gmail and emails teachers. Just earlier, I got a email from a student knowing that she was going to be gone tomorrow, and they're very quick and they expect emails in return. So that's been a really cool change. Again, Google Drive has been amazing. I almost keep everything on that. It's very, very easy to use, and we use it a lot for our MSPLCs to collaborate with other teachers, and we all share other drives. So really quick, I'll show you kind of what we're doing. In the district CTE, we have all different groups. Over here is where if you share with someone else. So in this, everybody that teaches clothing in our entire school has all of this. So then I can go to like how-to videos for SOTA curriculum, high school curriculum, clothing one how-to videos, and this is actually where my students all have this file. And so if they're learning how to use the machine, go here, and here are all the how-to videos that they are learning how to do. So it's pretty cool, it's easy to use, it's all aligned with all the standards in the class and all the lessons. Also, apps and extensions have been something else I've really been exploring. So we have the Chrome Web Store right here. One of the things I already have pulled up, I've taught interior design in the past, and it's amazing now that I used to have them hand draw all of the layouts. Now they can actually do room style, 3D planner. They all have Chromebooks, so they just add to their Chrome, add extensions. We're okay with them adding some apps to our Chromebooks, especially if it's something that they're going to utilize on a daily basis. For fashion, if they finish a project early, some of my students can play fashion games, there's clothing design. I'm still kind of exploring some of these, but really utilizing these extra games in the classroom. And then there's also one that we use in the facts department for food and nutrition, to where you can actually track your nutrition. So you can do like nutrition style, nutrition facts, and diets. There's one that you can actually track your own nutrition. So again, utilizing these apps has been very beneficial in the classroom. And then, of course, bringing social media into the classroom. I have a Twitter account now. I actually started it because I was required to in another class, but and then this class kind of got me going again on my Twitter. So this is my Twitter right now. We are going to. It was really helpful a while ago whenever we were getting ready for our fashion show. So advertising to students with PSH activities, and then creating our own hashtag, and then of course our Kerr Technical Education as well. Um, and the kids get really excited. A lot of them share these. And then also putting student projects out, and then what we're doing in the classroom is really good. My goal is to really get parents involved as well and have them start following us. I believe that once parents and students are all involved in this process, then you're gonna get more enjoyment and engagement in the class. Um, Instagram is something else that a lot of students use. A lot of them will hashtag. Whenever we went to our I took my students to a Chicago trip. We all actually got the same Instagram hashtag for our trip, so everybody could share pictures, and I'll have those pictures. Facebook I haven't really used, but I know other teachers and their blogs. So you could use them for classroom pages or group pages for after-school activities. Pinterest is something else that can be used, especially in a class like mine where creativity is very important and creating projects. A lot of my projects, I give them a standard and they get to pick exactly what they want to do. So Pinterest, they all create their own pages. Right now we're doing needlepoint in my textile design class. They all went on Pinterest to find that project. LinkedIn is something that we use in our career management class a lot. Really working with other professionals and industry leaders out in the real world, and LinkedIn is definitely a way to get started. I'm creating blogs. Now, I was really scared to create my blog. There was a lot to it, but I learned a lot from it, and I hope to continue using it as a professional tool and just in the classroom for what I'm doing. And then Remind 101. I currently do not use Remind 101 only because I use Google Classroom now with my students. All reminders can go on that, but in the past I have used Remind 101, and that's been very beneficial. Lastly, I have loved just being able to get on Blackboard and read everybody else's posts. I've been able to get a lot of other opinions from other teachers. It was interesting to read teachers' opinions on whether or not phones should be used in the classroom. I kind of lose track of what other classrooms are like when I'm in the Family and Consumer Science department, because our classes are very, very different than a math class or a science class. But it's kind of interesting to get other perspectives and see how other classes are run. And then again, how technology works with other teachers. What other schools have was a big one. The dynamic between a large school versus a small school, and maybe even the responsibilities that an administrator or administrators have in a school was very eye-opening. So overall, I learned a lot in this class. There's lots of tools that I'm going to bring to my classroom. At first I was a little overwhelmed. I'm still a little overwhelmed with how much information, and I'm just trying to take a couple tools at a time and slowly integrate them in without doing it all at once and shutting down. So right now my goal is to really develop that flipped classroom, differentiated learning with Google Classroom, and then of course how-to videos and everything like that. So thank you so much for everything. Bye.